Shalom, shalom, family. Welcome back. This is Brother Maurice, and this is part 5 to the truth about Moses, Aaron, the Levites, and the Levitical priesthood. Let's take a look at the book of remembrance of Moses in chapter 12, verse number 35. It says, "And the Lord said, her name is Talul, and she is the mother of abominations for Israel. She is a harlot and a slaver. She sells women to be used in the worship of Ashtaroth and Baal and Moloch. She is the anti-Messiah." So anyone that does anything against the Messiah or opposite the Messiah, they are all anti-Christ or anti-Messiah. Verse 37. "And she had a son in her many fornications, and she mocked Melchizedek, and she named her son Michael." Now it's something that she mocked Melchizedek and she named her son Michael. And the reason why this happened is because we now know that Shem is Melchizedek. And we also know when Shem died and went on to the spirit world after he is purified, he returned back to his position, and his position was Michael, the archangel. So now, how did she mock Melchizedek? By naming her son Michael, because she knew that Melchizedek is the archangel Michael. And she named her son Michael, and she had a cunning plan of how to overcome the decree of Jacob concerning his cursings of Levi and Simeon, and to also overcome the decree of Eleazar that no Levite should live in the 4 holy cities. And her plan was to alter the meaning of the term Levite. Her plan was to alter the meaning of the term Levite. And she declared that Michael, her son, was a Levite. And Talul came from Beth Peor, and she learned her trade there. And by her appearance, I don't think she is an Israelite. And her son was a thief. So Michael was a thief. And she taught him to steal from her clients. And she used dark sentences to obtain her wealth and power. And she dedicated her son Michael to be a high priest and a Levite. You see all this stuff taking place, family? And using her wealth, she invented the ephod that has always been seen in Israel to show forth the superiority of Levites in matters of religion. And I had seen the ephod that Aaron made, and it was a simple smock made of sheepskins. But Talul made hers out of very rich and elaborate materials, and it was pure white linen. And it had pomegranate tassels along the bottom, indicating to all who saw the high priest that he had sexual virility or masculinity, which concept came directly out of the worship of Ashtaroth. Now, let's look at this pomegranate. Pomegranate, by definition, represents a human scrotum and sexual prowess in the eyes of the wicked. Don't we see these pomegranate tassels in the Bible? Now we understand and we know where it came from. Now let's go to the book of remembrance of Moses in chapter 7. And it says, "And the Lord began to teach with words of distinction. And he said, now, the Levitical law that has been expressed for so long among Israel is blasphemous against Anoka seed. And it is blasphemous because it thus uses his name of I am loving kindness in vain, because it portrays him to be angry and cruel and one who requires vengeance. And it is a hard burden for him to have laws expressed in his name that kill, captivate, and destroy his children with wanton cruelty. The Father never ordered anyone to kill, because we've seen that in the seal portion, chapter 54, verse 9. Because what did it say? For the Lord never gave a commandment to his children that they should kill one another, not for any crime or sin that they might commit among them, but that forgiveness should be given to those who would repent, except it be those who murder another. But even these should not be killed, but taught the gospel while they are in prison, to prepare them for the spirit world when they should die. But the children of Israel had corrupted the law of Moses and taught that murder of another was justifiable under the law unto those who committed specific sins among them. And that which have been recorded in the Bible, which are the words of the Jews, have been passed down from generation to generation since the laws were first given by Moses. And these laws were changed to fit the fancies and desires of men. They're doing too much. Or should I say, they did too much. Let's take a look at the book of remembrance of Moses, chapter 15, verse number 46 and 47. It says, and the king, this is Artaxerxes, commissioned a man named Ezra, who was fluent in Hebrew and Aramaic, to come to his aid. Listen to this. And he gave Ezra great authority and money and soldiers. And he had this lawyer compose a law for Ezra to take to Jerusalem. And it was a Persian law drawn from the laws of Hammurabi. And they composed it in an effort to encourage the Israelites to accept it. And this king worshiped a strange god. This king worshiped a strange god. And he cared nothing for the God of Israel. Neither did he think he existed. He was deceitful and spoke of him with respect. And he spoke of Israel as a man of the law of God in Israel over and over. And in an effort to convince the people to accept the opposed law, and in an effort to convince the people to accept the imposed law. So what happened was the king paid Ezra, and the king came up with this false law, and he wanted to use Ezra to sell this law to the people. Ezra, let's go to Ezra, chapter 7, verse 21. And I, even I, and Xerxes, the king, do make a decree to all the treasures which are beyond the river, that whoever Ezra, the priest, the scribe of the law of the God of heaven, shall require of you, it shall be done speedily. And thou, Ezra, after the wisdom of thy God, that is thine hand, set magistrates and judges, which may judge all the people that are beyond the river, all such as know the laws of thy God, and teach them that know them not. And whosoever will not do the law of thy God, this is the law that he came up with, and the law of the king, let judgment be executed speedily upon him, whether it be unto death or to banishment or to confiscation of goods or to imprisonment. Another one, Ezra. He's involved in all this also. All right, family. Let's continue on the next one. Shalom.